Hey guys, welcome back to Two Moms, Too Much Coffee. This is Jhshell, and of course, we also have.
Hey, it's Tempest.
Hey, Tempest. Awesome. So today we're going to dig into some more fun stuff. We're going to talk about pretty much sleep deprivation and pretty much how we live in that constant state when you are not only a new mom, but I'm sure Tempest, you can, chime in on that. But when you're a mom of a toddler, when you're a mom of a teenager, just pretty much when you're a mom. So we're going to pretty much talk about the weirdest things we've done when we've been sleep deprived.
I am struggling today. I did not sleep well last night because I drank. So stupid. I drank 2 drinks last night. I can't get over it. And am, I was like hungover in the middle of the night. Luckily, I had to get up so much with her that I just like chugged water every couple of hours. So I feel like it made me not so hungover, but I am completely exhausted. And I cannot believe that 2 drinks did that to me, considering I used to freely drink much more than that, and it would do nothing. And
That's
so
insane.
yeah, I'm blown away. I'm like, oh, not drinking during pregnancy really affected my tolerance.
Yeah. I had a glass of wine the other day, last weekend, and I was very tipped off of wine, and I was so tired the next day. And I was like, I'm a whole different person now. It's truly, it's.
Yes, I don't remember the last time I got a really great sleep, but that's mom life.
I know. I remember when I first, I think not even when I first told you I was pregnant, but like, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 months. And I was like, I feel like I'm never going to sleep again. And you were like, yeah, no, you won't. And I was like, let's do it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Not me just waiting you. I can't stand when other people say, well, just wait. And I totally did that to you. So my
Well, I pretty
B.
much like led into that. I will say you've never just waited me like purposely or anything like that. I've been just waited like on the internet and it's not fun at all.
Hmm. Yeah,
All
well,
right.
yeah. As we know, Reddit is really good at a just wait. And
Oh my God.
yes.
Reddit and TikTok. Like I feel bad for some of the moms. I'll just be scrolling and they're like, my baby's sleeping through the night and they're 2 months old. And all of the moms that are like, just wait for the 4 month sleep regression. And I'm like, gosh, let the mom live for like 5 seconds.
Seriously
It's not
though,
fun.
like let them live. Everything will be okay. Everybody's baby, grows up and is fine. So
So since we're kind of digging into sleep deprivation, I feel like there's constantly like different things that moms do when they're sleep deprived, like some funny things, some where you're just like frustrated. I know for me, like the other day, which this probably isn't funny, it's just annoying, but I was making oatmeal and I like took the top off my oat milk to put in my oatmeal. I'm making it, I'm doing all the things, and I go to put my oat milk back in the fridge and I could not find the cap anywhere. I'm looking on the floor, I'm looking in literally looking in the trash can, looking everywhere, could not find it. I thought I was going insane. I like go to open the fridge just to put the oat milk back. I was over it and I put the cap back in the fridge, but like not the milk. So I like just ignored the whole entire carton. And I'm like, I would not have done that, I feel like, if I actually had 8 hours of sleep, but right now I'm running on fumes, probably a good five. But like just random things like that, I feel like I've been doing like daily. I don't know about you if you've had that
yeah,
happen to you.
absolutely. I am the same way. It's like I forget where I put every single thing. Lack of sleep is the bane of my existence. I love sleep so much that my brain stops working. So I absolutely will lose things that are in my hand. I could probably forget where I put Abel if I I truly, truly, truly can't function off of less than 8 hours of sleep. And which is bad because I haven't gotten 8 hours of sleep since Sequoia was born. So hopefully that ends soon and she'll start sleeping through the night, but we'll get to that.
Let's go back to Abel. Abel would never let you forget where you He is going to come find his mom no matter what. That's one thing I do know about Abel. You can't forget that
Yes.
child.
That's very, very true. And he's currently stuttering, and I'm sure it would be the cutest little stutter, like, Mom, Mom, where are you?
Then you
And
would guess.
love that kid.
I do too. Well, I mean, I kind of talks about us a little bit, but good segue into maybe our partners. Has Adam done anything where, like, when he's just been sleep deprived, you're just like, that's out of your norm? Or is he just, I mean, he's so pragmatic that I just feel like probably not.
If I could ever say that Adam would be sleep deprived, that would be a miracle. That
But yeah, he
man
wakes up at
can
5 a.m., right?
no, that man can sleep anywhere and everywhere off. He could drink 6 cups of coffee and then be like, I'm gonna go take a nap. And so the last thing that he's gonna let himself be is sleep deprived. And as we got through a little bit in the last episode, he 100% is sleeping through the night. So I'm gonna go ahead
Hmm.
and say that this man better not be sleep deprived, because what are you doing if you are? So all of
Just
that to say is
cueing
I've never,
postpartum rage at that point.
yeah, exactly. But all that to say, I've never ever seen him sleep deprived. I don't know what that looks like, and good for him.
Yes, Adam, good for you. Love your life. Let's just
Exactly.
switch for a day.
Uh, what about Nick?
Oh, I can't even. So I don't really know if I can like if it's fair. Like Nick generally has difficulties like remembering where he like put something or remember like just in general without telling my man's business. But he generally has difficulty with that. But what I will say is when I was pregnant, we would say like, "Oh, how are you going to be in general like with patience?" Because he doesn't have the best patience with some things. And we were like, "Oh, that's probably definitely going to be a lot harder like for you to maintain your patience like when she's screaming and when she's like won't go down and things like that." It's actually the opposite. He with Naya is probably the most patient I'm the one when like I'm sleep deprived, I'm running on fumes. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like tapping him in. Like I'm like, you have to rock her. You have to walk her around. You have to do something. And he will do it like with a smile on his face. And he'll walk around the house for like, I don't even know, 30 minutes with literally the most patience. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm running on literally nothing. I need to go to
Mm-hmm.
sleep. So it's kind of funny how that flipped a little bit, but good
Yeah.
for him.
What a cute dad. He's just, you know what? I'm just super happy.
Yeah,
I
until
love
he's
that
like
for him.
overstimulating her. And I'm like, okay, it's time for her to go to bed. Please stop talking to
Exactly. Oh man,
her.
I went out for dinner last night, and as I am with my children, am very like, you have to do it this way, and you got to put her down
Mhm,
this way, and
mhm.
I have the Nanit, and so the Nanit it's on your phone, so you can see even when you're not there, you could totally see absolutely everything going on. And so I get back home and I'm like, so she didn't go to sleep right away. And on top of that, she woke up again. I saw her wake up again. He's like, no, it's fine. I was like, no, I saw her wake up. So anyway, being with me is constant looking in on everybody's sleep, including my children when I'm literally out of the house.
Oh no, that's not just you, and you don't need the Nanit to do that because I just have the Huckleberry app, and I went out and I was literally like, "You didn't start the timer," and I know that she's asleep. Start her sleep timer, and I'm like, literally, "What time did you feed her? You didn't put it in there." So it's not just you; it's definitely
Yes.
both of us here on that. I just need things to be the way they need to be when I want them to be the way they are.
Exactly. And shout out to the Huckleberry app. If you ever want to sponsor us, both Jhshell and I use the Huckleberry all day, every day. All got all of our diapers in there, our sleeps, any particular thing, breastfeeding. I love that it can tell you which boob you used last. I think that that's the
Mm-hmm.
best part is because I will absolutely forget which boob I ended ended the breastfeeding on. And so it's so
Mhm.
helpful.
Talking about sleep deprived, you do not remember what boob your last boob was on, for sure. And like
Exactly.
recording the time, I wouldn't remember how long she ate if I didn't have that app, to be honest.
Yeah. Or even how long she slept. Because in the middle of the night, I put in what time she went back down, and I wake up and it tells me how long she's been asleep instead of me having to calculate on my fingers.
Yes. And wake windows. Just honestly sponsor us. We'll
Yeah.
we'll dig
Just
in real. We'll
everything.
have a whole episode on Huckleberry if you just want to,
Yes. It
help
certainly is.
out
It's
with
really good for people that liked a lot of detail because it gives you so much information. I've actually gone back to when I used it with Able to compare
it.
with Sequoia, which is years ago, and it still has all that information saved. So I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You recommended that to me and we have not looked back. Awesome. Well, kind of going into like forgetting what boob you used and forgetting how long they ate. It's pretty much like typical mom brain moments that we've had. And I feel like brain fog was like very prominent in pregnancy, but do you feel like you're still having crazy, mom brain moments?
Yes, absolutely. I honestly feel like my cognitive skills have just tanked. And it could be lack of sleep. It could be that I'm home all the time with a, nonverbal child. So it's not really a lot of people to talk to, but I'm sitting here always trying to find the words to say when I'm out with somebody. It's like I've never had a conversation in my life. And so I certainly think that that's a lot of brain fog having from being sleep deprived, and or just no social interaction most of the days. Yeah.
Yeah, for
What
sure.
about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like one of the biggest things that was really bad in pregnancy, and it's still really bad, I thought it would get better, is like word finding. I,
Yes.
it is, I don't know how I'm going to go back to work and be like in client meetings talking about like software, because I cannot find like words to save my life or like put them in appropriate sentences. So that is still really, really hard. And it's obviously not getting any better without sleep. And then I still just do like, I don't know, I do random things. Like I call like my dog Naya, or Naya, my dog's name. Like just random things like that where it's just like, I'd feel like just kind of crazy. It's like my cognition. I'm like, am I okay? I feel like I need to take like a cognitive exam, honestly, at this
Right.
point.
I mean, honestly, the same. I did see some sort of stat, which it could have been TikTok, so bear with me on, if it's valid or not, but that like moms lose so much of their white matter while they're pregnant, and then they don't get it all back until like 2 years postpartum. And so I'm not surprised that word finding is something that both of us struggle with, and just, normal social skills after,
Right.
birth, right? Regardless if that's sleep deprived or not.
2 years is insane. That's like, it honestly isn't fair. It truly is not fair because like we
Yep.
already carried baby, we birthed baby, and now we're just gonna be cognitively delayed for 2 years.
Mhm.
That's just and then you get pregnant again, if you want to, and then it all starts again, right, Tempest?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, right around the 2-year mark was right when I started feeling like myself, again.
Mm,
And
yeah.
so it's not surprising to me that it does take that long. And then you feel like you're back in your body again. And then you're like, oh, wait, in order to have kids that are close in age, you have to, get pregnant again. Um,
Mm,
and so it's crazy, um, how long it takes to feel good again just to start over.
yeah. When you say like feel good again, do you like, is it just all over like cognitive, physically? Like, do you feel like it took the 2 years all around or just like mom brain?
Yeah, everything for sure. Like, even to feel like strong enough to, because I would go to the gym 5 days a week before I had Able. And then, in order, the first few months of your child's life, you don't really get to go out and go to the gym and prioritize yourself as much as we talked about in the
Yeah.
previous episode. And then, on top of that, you're then raising this kid. They might go to daycare. They might be making you sick all the time because they're in daycare. So that knocks you out. So that way you're still not really sleeping that well, and you're not exercising because you're trying to heal your body. You're then prioritizing your kid over yourself. And so you maybe aren't hydrating or eating well enough. And then it takes probably until a year until they're kind of in the swing of what they're doing, where you can probably start prioritizing yourself again. And so it probably took me about 2 years until I actually felt like, okay, here I'm Tempestt and a mom instead of just I'm mom and not Tempestt. So it took quite a long time for sure.
Yeah, that's huge. Basically, bottom line is the motherhood is not for the weak. And if you could do it
Not at
again,
all.
not for the weak. No, I
Yeah.
hear. Well, since you've done it twice, do you have any survival tips for our non-sleepers over here?
Yes. Funny story. My first survival tip is if you have a girl, to put a diaper underneath the diaper you're changing before you change that diaper, because a couple days ago, Sequoia was not sleeping very well, and I was trying to figure out why she was crying. So I was like, you know what, I'll just change her diaper, I'll feed her, do the whole routine to make sure that everything is in tip top shape for her to go back to bed. And this was in the middle of the night, and so I take her diaper off, I don't put another diaper underneath her, and then I like go to get another diaper, and I turn around and everything is wet. And so I had to get a new swaddle. I had to completely disrobe her and put on a new diaper, put on a new onesie, put on a new swaddle. And so for me to like have this relaxing, like, let me just, make sure you're okay. So then now she's cold, and it's insane. So my biggest tip, because it's specifically for girls, because I did not have this happen with Abel all the time, is to make sure you put the diaper underneath so that way everything's not wet. But I also heard that a puppy pad is like a really great way to make sure like it catches the pee instead of it just going everywhere, which is what happened.
Yeah, Naya did that to us literally day two. Day two.
Yeah.
And she everywhere. And she was like, that's when like it was the newborn shrieking cry. So we were like, what do we do? And
Yes.
yeah, she has done that too. And poop. She has done that to us with like literally thinking she's all done. And then we go to switch the diaper and then yeah. So I co-sign that, put the other diaper down, especially in
Mhm.
the middle of the night if you're changing a poopy diaper to not disrupt everything. Yeah, not
Yes.
fun at all.
I would say my other sleep tip is make sure you have a red light, so that way the whole room doesn't turn bright when you turn on the lights. It's just the red light. That one helps so much. I don't know if it really does anything or not, but it doesn't feel like I have to wake up all the way at night when I have the red light instead of just that bright overhead light that is in your room.
Yeah, that's a good one. You actually sent me another one. It's like a really bright because I only have the hatch red light, but yours, I was like, "Is that your hatch?" And you were like, "No, it's a lamp, and it's amazing. I still need to order it, but that's a good one. I feel like another light that I have the red light, but I have to look at the actual name, but it's like a little egg, and you can tap it twice, and it'll either be really bright or it'll be low. So I'll do the low light when I'm breastfeeding in the middle of the night. And that one's a good one too, because it's not going to like wake her up and then also wake me up. So that
Right.
one's a good one as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Do you have any tips so far? I mean, you might not be as seasoned as me, but you certainly, I'm sure, have some tips that have been working.
You're sure of that? So one of the things that I was doing, and because me and Nick didn't really know better, we were still changing Naya throughout the night. So
Oh.
like every time she would, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep,
Okay, well, I
let's
guess
let
I
that.
should have I should have said something about
Yeah,
that.
there's, yep, let's let that simmer. So every single time she would wake up to eat, I was like, ooh, she needs to change her diaper because I don't want her to get a diaper rash. We did that for a good hot minute. And then, we read something that was like, You don't need to do that unless they pooped because you're just like waking them up. And she hates, at the time, it was really bad, hated diaper changes. She was like screaming. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I would wake her up and then it was like resetting her. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. So that's a tip is you don't need to do that. Well, of course, do what you want to do as you're a parent to your own kid, but we don't change her unless she pooped during the night. So we're like not resetting her. So I feel like that I would definitely keep doing that if, you're already doing it or if you haven't started. Cause
Yes. Yeah, that is a hot tip for sure. I know there's a point, and I don't remember what point, that you have to switch to overnight diapers because they pee so much. I haven't done that yet, but it certainly we're kind of getting to the point where in the morning it definitely feels like a pretty full diaper. So I try to change her around like 4 o'clock, if that's
Mhm.
because she normally wakes up around 4. So I change her then, and that way she still sleeps a little bit longer. Uh,
Mhm.
but absolutely, I would say do not change the diaper unless they're crying about a wet diaper at night.
Oh yeah, good. Yeah, it was fun. Fun times. Fun learning all of the things. My husband was like, "Oh, you're such a strong soldier," like talking to Naya because she's the firstborn, and we're learning with her. And he's like, "What a strong
Yes,
soldier you are!" And I'm like, "I'm so sad. She shouldn't have to be, but I mean, here we are." But it's
exactly.
fun. So, are you surviving off of caffeine or naps, or is there anything like specific that's helping you survive a little bit, or are we
Yeah.
just
So,
wait?
funny enough, we are, two moms, too much coffee, but I do try really hard not to overdo it on the coffee because I'm pretty sensitive to it. And so my sister, she stayed with me postpartum for 40 days, which was really, really, really nice of her. And she is very holistic and would get very upset with me if I, instead of taking a nap, drank coffee. So I would say, you know, without the knowledge of my sister, I would probably say caffeine over naps. But definitely naps make you feel so much better if you can. But for me, it's so hard to nap during the day. Like if it's bright outside, I'm awake even if I got no sleep the night before. And so caffeine does the trick, as we all know.
That's fair.
Yeah. What about you?
I kind of the same way with coffee. Funny that that's her name. But I stopped drinking coffee like pre-pregnancy just for like hormonal reasons and prep to get pregnant with just things going on. So I was drinking like a lot of teas and stuff like that. And then once I had Naya, I was like, coffee is starting to sound really great again. So I'm leaning more towards caffeine. I'm still trying to like do more of teas, but it is I feel like during nap time, I try to get as much as I can done during nap time, especially now that she's only like napping like 45 minutes. So it's really hard for me to like really say naps are what's helping me because I'm trying to like do everything on my to-do list while she's napping in that short amount of time. I will occasionally, like if she's sleeping for a good long time, like I will go ahead and just like take a nap. But I'm leaning more towards caffeine nowadays, which is just hasn't been me for quite some time. So I don't know how I feel about it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Hopefully it changes and that way we can get back to our healthy-ish habits with functioning without caffeine and or just a little bit of caffeine. So I definitely feel like if we, maybe do a mix of caffeine and naps, it'll likely be the best option for both of us.
I think that is an amazing idea. It's just, will Naya let me nap? TBD.
Yeah,
TBD.
I mean, truly, you never know. Could be a 30-minute nap, could be a 2-hour nap, and you never know which time to lay down for.
Exactly. And then I get so upset when it ends up being a long nap because I'm like, "Ah, could have really had a good 2 hour nap right then. Or I could have gotten a
Could
lot
have
done.
slept. Yes.
Awesome. Well, any other tricks that like help you function? Kind of like as a new mom that's sleep deprived or a mom with a toddler, like anything that you feel like really helped you, or is it just kind of like going with the flow?
I honestly feel like the best way for me to function is to get outside. If
Mm.
you're tired and sleep deprived, you go for a walk, go to a store, go for a drive. Well, I guess maybe not for some people, but for me, go for a drive. Just get outside, do some things that just make you move. So that way you're not just feeling so exhausted at home.
Yeah, I co-sign going outside. We go on a walk like every day, and that just feels, I feel like it helps me reset. For me and my type A-ness, I feel like lists. If I don't have a list of like things that I need to do or like things I have done and being able to mark it off to make myself feel better, then I just feel like I'm kind of like all over the place. So I feel like it kind of resettles me like, oh, I am doing great for what what my situation is. Being a new mom with a 2-month old, like I really feel like it really helps me kind of recenter of what I have done. So,
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Awesome. Well, before we wrap up today, we actually have a new section of the podcast. It's called our Unsolicited Advice section. So, as every mom knows, you're always going to receive unsolicited advice. And that's just kind of is what it is. Sometimes that unsolicited advice is super helpful and you actually are able to use it in your day to day. Sometimes it might irritate or frustrate you and you just kind of take things with a grain of salt and you just keep on moving. Any extra pieces to that, Tempest?
No, I think you said it very well.
All right, awesome. So, what we're going to do is each episode, we are going to read a comment from one of our followers, or we're going to read something from a Reddit page, anything like that. And we're just going to kind of talk about it and unpack it a little bit and kind of see like how that has helped us as moms, or if it's kind of something more of like it doesn't really help our situation. So, the first comment that we're going to go over today is from a follower on our page, and she said, unsolicited advice from a mommy of two and doctor. Girl, I breastfed both, but I did pump and put it in a bottle and put that responsibility on dad to feed baby in the middle of the night. So that's the first comment. Tempest, do you want to kind of unpack that? How do you feel? Thoughts?
Yeah. I'm happy for her that that worked really well for her, because I don't know if I would be able to do that, or if I did do that, if it would actually be any easier for me. Because if you're pumping in the middle, or if you're pumping and trying to sleep through the night, then you're still making that milk. And so you have to add an extra pump during the day. You have to find that time. You have to train your body to produce that milk at some point. And then that burden is still on you during the day, even though you get to sleep at night. And so I would say that I don't know if that would have worked as well for me, especially because if my partner's not sleeping at night and then he has to go to work or they have to go to work, that wouldn't be good either. So it certainly could be an option for some people, but definitely, I don't know if it would have worked in my house. Can you hear my daughter pooping just now?
You can.
Yeah, that was Sequoia just letting one loose.
Welcome to motherhood. I to just kind of like go off of that. I think there have been some moms that I'm friends with that that's what they do. It works for them. That's like how their routine works. And I think every mom kind of finds a routine. Or they're exclusive pumpers. So they're not having to find additional time because that's what they're doing. They're already making that milk for that nighttime feed or that daytime feed. And it just works, especially if you, like, I think this mom, she said she works nights. So that works for that family. But then there's like the situation where if you're a mom that doesn't prefer to pump, or I have friends whose babies do not take a bottle. So that's not an option. Or like in my case, my husband, he commutes to work. So he gets up at like 5:30 in the morning to go to work. So like to have him get up to do the bottle, it's kind of like it's still annoying to watch you sleep. But at the same time, I'm not going to have you do the bottle when you're also kind of making a sacrifice for our family as well. So I think all advice is helpful in the sense of how you use it and if it works for your family. But as a mom, that's just kind of something that we deal with is we just get advice left and right.
Yes, yeah. And there's so there's just so many ways to do absolutely everything when it comes to
Mhm.
motherhood. So,
Yeah.
all the different types of advice, they certainly might work. They might work, they might not. And every baby is so different um, that you just never know what's going to work for you. And so,
Mhm.
um, but I love that people are putting the options out there. So that way you
Yeah.
know exactly what you can try because as you know, when you don't get enough sleep, it is you're just ready to try absolutely anything.
Yes. And definitely keep putting your like comments on our page just because I mean, I know as a new mom for myself, I would read other moms' comments and I would be like, "Oh, like let me try that." So definitely something that another mom might read and they might, run with it, but definitely something that we'll keep including in our podcast and keep sharing with everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we're going to wrap it up today, guys. So if you're sleep deprived right now, just know that you won't always be this way, hopefully, but you're not alone. And next week, we will be talking about the biggest myths that we believed about motherhood and were they truly myths or were there something a little bit true to them? So, as always, subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Hey, thanks for joining us on Two Moms, Too Much Coffee. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to leave us a review.